Hello. Today we've unboxed a lovely new Atelier. This is the JANOME Atelier 3. This is the baby of the family. There's an Atelier 3, Atelier 6, a 7 and an Atelier 9, which is a sewing and embroidery. So what's lovely about the Atelier series is that they are slightly bigger. They are certainly bigger than a standard machine. They've got 8¼ inches here. So they're perfect for quilting because you've got more space, but they're not quite a long arm. So, and just a really nice size. So obviously bigger than the standard machine. So what we're going to go through today is just some basics. So if you've just purchased one of these or you're thinking of, we're showing you how to wind the bobbin and thread it up. And then we're going to just do a few of the features. So I'm going to show you the features on the screen and how to access the different stitches, how to use the needle threader. And then it comes with a variety of feet, but we're going to use the applique foot, so do some fancy stitches. We'll create a buttonhole. I'll show you how to do the alphabet because this comes with alphabet. If you have a look at all the lovely stitches that it comes with, so we'll be showing you how to access those. And also we're going to do some overedge stitching as well, so using the C foot, which is the overedge foot. So as with all JANOME's, lovely book that it comes with, so lovely descriptions and diagrams, and that obviously helps. So let's have a look at the machine. If I switch it on at the side, we've got a lovely digital display. It's telling me that the the foot pedal is in, and we've got here the different modes. So I'm going to refer you to this lovely vision panel here. So we'll see that it's got mode 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I assume they're sort of Russian and Greek. So who knows, but I don't really know much about those at the moment. So to access those different stitches, we will be using and putting these different modes that go through. Now, so it comes with a nice stylus. So just to show you, it then goes to mode 2. So I would then, if I wanted, say, this pretty stitch here, I'm in mode 2. If I just push 52, it even shows me the diagram. So this is, as I say, an Atelier 3. It has got a 7mm foot, so it's like a standard size foot. When you go to the Atelier 6 and the 7 and the 9, they've got 9mm feet, so they've got bigger feet. So generally, your JANOME standard size feet will fit this, except for the walking foot, but that's a different matter. Okay, so let's have a look what else is here. We've got an easy wind bobbin. We've got a thread cutter here. Got automatic tension. This is our presser foot pressure. Our lovely scissors function. Needle up, needle down. Stay stitch, reverse. And if we weren't using our foot pedal, so we could take that out and use our start stop, which I'll show you when we do a buttonhole. We've also, on this panel, which is really nice, got some easy access buttons, which is what I really like. So we've got our, straight stitch here. So if I push that, straight away, it's gone back to mode 1, straight stitch, needle in the middle position, and a default stitch length of 2.4. So here, if I wanted to, I could change and move that. So it's quite a lovely, easy, simple way of navigating around the system. If I want the needle over to the left, I could just push that and we'll see that the needle has moved over. I'll move it back so as you can see there. So we've moved over. Or if I want a simple zigzag, these are our go-to buttons. So things that we're mainly going to be using, we've got straight stitch and zigzag. And then if I want to do a buttonhole, I can do that. Obviously, if I want to do a more fancy buttonhole, I can come back up to mode 1 and choose something else. But those are just our general day-to-day stitches, selectors. So if we look around the side here, We've also got our, this disky slide thing here is to lower our feed dogs. So we would drop our feed dogs, pop our feed dogs back up. So that's a nice and easy, accessible thing. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is wind a bobbin, and I'm hoping you're going to see with this bright red thread. Again, always really crucial that we use good quality thread. We like Gutermann here. It's really nice. The thread is beautiful. There's hardly any fluff and lint that comes from it, because all the fluff and lint will end up in your machine. So we pop our thread on the spool holder with the thread coming underneath. This lifts up like that. And then we're just going to secure it. This is a small reel with the small thread holder. So make sure it's spinning nicely. And then we're just going to follow, there's some numbers on here. There's 1, 2, and now this is the tension. So I'm coming through there, 1, 2, and then this side, and then back. So it goes back and around. So through there, down there, back and around. So find an empty bobbin. I do love these easy wind bobbins. Get our thread, so as we've got a good 20 centimeters extra holding in my right hand. So I'm just going to secure that round there. Then I'm going to use this thread that's in my hand and just start winding it clockwise. And then underneath here, there's little thread cutters. So if I just, whoops, don't get my fingers in the way of the video, and in there, and then just give it a little pull, push the bobbin winder over. It tells the machine that we're bobbin winding. So I could either put my foot on the foot pedal now and wind the bobbin, or I could take this out and use the start stop, but I'm going to use my foot control. Now that's going really slowly, and it's because we've got a speed control here. So I'm going to zuzz that up. It's winding beautifully, it's going nicely up and down, and it's because it's in lovely tension, and you can see that it's not loopy at all, and that's because of that. I think that's probably enough, but obviously we would fill a whole bobbin. So that'll do for this. Push it back over, lift it up. There's a little thread cutter there, which is really super easy. And then we're going to pop our bobbin in. So little black slider thing there. So push and slide, and then the bobbin case opens. So as with all of JANOME drop-in bobbins, we're going to pop our bobbin in as a letter P for perfect. So we drop it in. So right here, I'm going to get the stylus rather than my finger so as you can see. The bobbin tension is this little slit there. So what we have to do is get the thread so as it comes under both of them, but also, I don't know if you can see, it's gone through that little gap. And the thread has now come in between and is in tension. And all I'm doing now is getting into the groove, comes around there, a little cutter, and that's it. So I know I can look and see that my bobbin is in tension because it's gone through. See if we can get it there. So it's gone through, and that bobbin is now in tension. So that's it. We don't have to pull the bobbin thread up. We pop our bobbin cover back on. There we are. And now we're going to thread. So now we're going to follow the straight line. So it's again the same way, in there like so, and then we're coming down, same as most sewing machines, up and down and around into the take-up lever. I like to give that thread some tension by holding it so as it pings through. I'm going to double check, because that's another lovely thing about this machine. It will open up and you can see that it's caught up in that take-up lever. So comes down here to the thread catcher, and another one at the top of the needle, just like that. So now I'm going to show you how to use the needle threader. So this is a crucial part. No needle threaders are ever under warranty. because if they go wrong, it's generally user error. So let's show you how to use your needle threader. So basically, I want to make sure that my needle is in the right place. If I've just switched the machine on and I haven't touched anything, then it should be in the right place. But the best way to check is by pushing the needle down button, pushing needle up, pushing it again, and it resets it so I know it's in the right place. So I'm now going to bring the needle threader all the way down. So that's located here at the side. And although you probably can't see, there is a tiny little wire that has come from the back into the eye of the needle. Does that actually show it? That's good. So what I'm going to do is create a little L shape here, and I'm going to try not to get my hands in the way. So I've hooked it under this little elbow, and then hook it under that little elbow and create that little L shape. And then if I just lift this gently and let go with my right hand, it's created a little loop at the back, and I can then pull that through. So that's the needle threaded. Shall I do that one more time? So I know the needle's in the right place. Bring the needle threader all the way down. It stops. I know that that little hook has come through. I'm going to hook it under that little white bit and then under that little metal bit. I'm holding my hand slightly back, and then I'm going to lift, let go, and then this little loop, and there we are. So now we're ready for some test sewing. We've got it on just the first stitch it comes to, so it defaults to this 01, which is straight stitch with needle in the middle position. So press a foot down, and I'll take the speed down a little bit, and we'll give it a go. It's a lovely, smooth sounding, very nice sounding machine. So what we can do, we'll test our lovely scissors. So push the scissor button, and that now cuts the thread. And there we are. So that's that. Stitching nicely. So we'll know by that that everything is in its proper tension. So let's now just try out and test out the zigzag. So we can use our little go-to here. So obviously there are more zigzags, but we're just going to give it a little go. Go a bit faster. So if we stop there, we'll notice it stops with needle down. So we can have a look at that. It's quite a delicate zigzag. But I can show you now what we can do to override and manipulate the stitches. So this is just a normal zigzag, but let's make it wider and longer, and how easy this is to do this. So let's take it wide up to a 5. Of course, the widest it can go is a 7, because this is a 7mm foot, and we'll take the length up to 2.5. Now, the thing is, this is quite a fine bit of calico, so it may gather. It won't be the best stitch to be on this, but just to show you how we can do that. Actually, it works okay. So that's how you would change those stitches. So put the needle, the presser foot down again now to cut, and then it's cut it. What I could have done is this little stay stitch just to secure it, but I'll show you that on something else now. So we will go and go through the modes and perhaps do a bit of fancy stitches. So let's have a look at mode 2, and what should we choose? Let's choose, say, number 15. That's quite a pretty little one. So I'll show you. We're on mode 1 because that's what it'll always start up with. So go to mode 2 and put in number 15. That's that pretty design. Now it's telling us on here as well which foot to use. So that's saying the F foot, which is an applique foot. Okay. So how to change the foot? There's just a little red button at the back. You just push it and the foot falls off. And to position the F foot, you see we've got the bar there. So we just need to make sure, sorry, I need to do it that way. There we are, and that's in. So that's now the F foot, which is the applique foot, which has little like skis underneath, and it just helps guide anything that's a little bit more of a fancy stitch. So pop the presser foot down, and then let's just let it do its thing. So these are really nice stitches for quilting, or for doing some applique, or just for stitching around the edge of a t-shirt, say. So what I could do now is, this is the stay stitch button here. So if I push this once, what it's going to do is get to the end of that pattern and then just stop, which is useful on certain patterns, say hearts or flowers. So if I cut that now, it's finished the whole of that pattern. So I'll show you more. Let's choose one that is, okay, I don't know how to use that one. So if we did something like, for instance, a leafy pattern here, which is still on mode 2, but number 32, that would be quite understanding. So if we go 32, and then I could push this button here. Okay, so that's going to stay stitch and cut it. So when I now hit the stay stitch button, it's going to finish off that leaf, and voila, how magic is that? It's actually cut it as well. So there we are. So that's how we can utilise and get around those stitches. So let's just do a little bit of alphabet while we're here. So I'll just write the word sew, I think, just something very simple. So we have actually got uppercase and lowercase on this, and it's on mode 3. So we need to access mode 3, push mode there, comes to mode 3. And if I do the S, which is 29, that's the S, and memory. And then I will do a capital E, 15, memory, and 33. Memory, and then if I use this scissor and stay stitch button as well, did it work? Yes, there. So that little scissor icon has to come up. So now what I can do is just stitch it out. It's telling you which one you're doing each time. And I'm hopeful with this one it will just automatically stop itself. There we are, because it's only doing so it won't carry on writing so, and it's cut it as well. So there we are. So really nice fonts, very easy to access. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is this overedge foot. So I'm going to take this foot off, and the overedge foot is a really wonderful foot, and it's got 2 little bars on it, and it's got this little brush. Because what's unusual, whereas with an overlocker you can sew into nothing, with this foot what we're asking it to do is practically sew into nothing. So the actual stitch is going to go into this brush and go either side of these 2 metal bars. And it kind of creates a bit like an overlock stitch. Sorry. A bit like an overlock stitch, but it's not, it doesn't cut. So it's not that, you know, brilliant, but it's a really lovely stitch, and you can use it direct for jerseys. So it's got a little guide here. If you can see this little black bit here, right underneath the brush, that's where the edge of the fabric's going to sit. So you can see that actually it's really quite, the fabric is quite in. So I'm just going to line it up. There we are. Let's go in a bit more, actually. There. So now I need to find the actual stitch for the overedge, which is mode 1, and I think it's number 13, and we will know that when we come on here. So if I go to mode 1 and then 13, that's saying use foot C. And I know that that is foot C. Okay, so this is the over edge. So all I need to do is to make sure that I keep the edge of this fabric up against the edge of that guide. Okay, so I don't know if you can see there, but it's kind of created a nice line of stitching and a zigzag edge. So you could actually do that direct onto jersey for your leggings because you've got your seam there as well. So it's a nice stitch to have a play with, or you could have done your seam and just used it just to do as an over edge on your seams. But you could, either way, it's just a fantastic little foot. Okay, so let's just do a buttonhole. So I need to take this C foot off and attach the buttonhole.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
So, buttonhole foot. Looks like a right old contraption. So we're going to pop the button in to there, and that's now determining how big the buttonhole is going to be. So again, this is the bar that we've got to attach it to. So we might as well just do a standard buttonhole, which is that one. So it is telling us that it is a 5 width of the zigzag and a 0.4 stitch length. So again, it's always good to test sew, because if you were doing this on, say, some thick heavy wool, you may want to extend the stitch length and make the zigzag a little bit wider, so you can override those defaults. So just got to attach the foot. There we are. And if we look on the screen, it's also telling us to find the doobry, which is the buttonhole lever. I like to call it a doobry because it looks like a backward D, and it is located behind the needle threader, which is here. It's a lever that comes down. It's called the buttonhole lever, but I do like the doobry. So it must come all the way down. Now the thing is with buttonholes is that normally we would have stabilizer, etc. So I've folded it all up. So we've got nice 4 layers of fabric, and the buttonhole is going to go, the stitching is going to go backwards. So we're going to pop the buttonhole foot down, and on this occasion we're going to take out the foot pedal. So you'll notice now that the foot pedal icon isn't showing there. And the main reason for doing that is it's an automatic buttonhole, and it likes to do the whole thing. It doesn't want to be relying on you going with some kangaroo petrol on your foot pedal, so just let the whole thing work and just do its own thing. So this time we can now use our start stop. And because we set it for automatic cut, it's automatically cut it as well. Wow. So that's a really nice buttonhole. You obviously get an unpicker as well in the pack. So what I tend to do to cut open the hole is to access one end. There's quite a lot of fabric in there now, so hopefully I don't go through my finger at the back. And there's a little blade here, and just run the blade up halfway and then turn it round the other, go in the other side, there. And that's our buttonhole. So let's see if it fits. So we'll take the buttonhole lever back, take this buttonhole foot off. Can get the button out. And voila, beautiful buttonhole. So let's pop it all back to normal, the A foot back on. So it's a lovely, lovely machine. It's got loads more features other than what we've just gone through. But hopefully, if you're thinking of buying a machine, that's giving you a good idea of what the Atelier 3 can do. And if you've already got one, hopefully that will help you. And if you need any other help and advice, please remember us. We're so creative in Petersfield, and we'd look forward to seeing you.